Krishna, today our satsang, BHAGVAD GITA, 5th chapter, 21st SLOKA. Lord Sri Krishna saying, Bahasparshaye asaktatma Vindayatmatmani yatatsukha Sa brahmamayo yoga yuktatma Sukshamakshayamanashute. The translation for this shloka is, such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. So, here are the three things we must consider today in our satsang. The number one is sensual happiness. Number two is spiritual pleasure. And number three is concentration of the Supreme. So, the common factor here is concentration. If you concentrate on material pleasures, you will enjoy material pleasures. But if you concentrate on the spiritual pleasures, then you will be a spiritual man. So what is this material and what is this spiritual and what is its pleasures? The pleasure is the demand of body and soul, demand of body, mind, senses, into everything, every element, whether spiritual or material, is hankering for pleasure. The whole cosmos is running for pleasure. That's why everything material is moving, because it does not have pleasure. Mind is restless because it wants pleasure. And it can only be stable when it gets complete pleasure. So, the paths are two for us. One is material pleasure, another is spiritual pleasure. Now, what is the difference between the material pleasure and spiritual pleasure? You must know that. Material pleasure is born from mind through senses, because it is the urge of the senses for its objects, and mind is the medium which perceives, which feels the pleasure. We know only material pleasure. We are mad after material pleasures. We always want some pleasure for our senses. Good hearing for ears, good seeing for eyes, good touch for gentle tongue. All these pleasures, we want it always uninterrupted. So, we don't know beyond this, and our total life is centered around these pleasures. But when you start analyzing these pleasures, you will come to the point that these pleasures have a beginning and an end, but you do not want an end to this. They are limited in perceiving, limited in capacity. The highest pleasure will not last for long moments here, and that gives us dissatisfaction. We are totally dissatisfied even we get pleasures here, material. Nobody is satisfied with one wife or one. Nobody is satisfied with alcohol, limit of alcohol. So everything we want unlimited, but it is limited by nature. So the intelligent people started searching for the right pleasure we deserve. And they have concluded that material pleasure is not our pleasure. Above the material pleasure, there is a spiritual pleasure. And that spiritual pleasure is our element, is the constitutional happiness for us. We are not this material body, we are the imperishable eternal souls. Thus they have concluded and denied, rejected the material pleasure. And because they rejected the material pleasures, their dependence on karma abolished. And when dependence on karma abolished, the cycle of birth and death also vanished. In this way, they get freedom from these material bodies and got eternal life. And this is the purpose of the human body, to free ourselves from the material entanglement. The human birth is regarded as very rare in this world, and having gotten it, you should not again go for material pleasures which are easily available in other births like animal births. So Krishna is saying here in this sloka, when he gets into contact with even material bodies, he do not desire the material pleasure because he is in trance, enjoys spiritual pleasure. And because he concentrates on me, he gets unlimited pleasure. So instead of always concentrating on material sense objects and their pleasures, he concentrates on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of all pleasures. And because he is the source of all pleasures, he starts enjoying unlimited happiness. The spiritual happiness has no limits. Brahmananda. This Brahmananda is spiritual pleasure. It comes from attachment with the Supreme. So if you get attached to the Supreme, then definitely you will enjoy Supreme spiritual pleasure. That is the essence of this sloka. Never crave for material things. Never crave, never hanker for material enjoyment, knowing it to be temporary, insignificant. Insignificant is the right word I can use here. And even if you get that with hardship, it will vanish within time. So dear devotees, as because your life is precious, your pleasure is also precious. It should be full of joy and bliss. Thank you and Hare Krishna.